Now with me in studio is Dr. Thembi Mayayise, and Dr. Nyarai Tunjera will be joining us via Skype. And she carries a doctorate in education here to tell us more about educational technology. Dr. Thembi, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I just want to know this. There's educational technology for both teaching and learning. Can you tell us what the difference is?
Okay. Everyone is talking technology and educational technology,
Yes.
especially in this era where we actually have COVID that has actually influenced the way in which things are done, obviously including the way in which lecturers or teachers have actually been educating their learners.
Yes.
So when we look at the technologies, you may find that quite often the very same technology that the teachers use is the very same technology that learners actually need to have access to, so that they can have access to the content that has been made available by their teachers.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it depends on which aspect you are actually focusing on.
Right.
Are you focusing on the delivery of the content by the teachers to the students, or is it both ways, where you are expecting some form of interaction between the learners and the teachers?
And the teachers, yes.
So there's different technologies that are out there, but the most important thing is to try and look at it from a need perspective.
Okay.
What type of need, are the teachers actually seeking that particular piece of technology for?
Yes.
Is it for them just to deliver that content, or is it for them to just have a way or a mechanism of engaging their learners with? So it depends on the need.
On the need.
Yes.
So would I be correct in saying that it depends on the interaction as well? For the success of educational technology, it depends on the interaction that happens between the teachers and the learners.
Exactly. Like currently you'll find that a lot of students are actually learning online through various applications.
Okay.
They're actually having meetings through different platforms, etc., etc.
Yes.
Now, there's also a passive learning to that, even though technology is behind it, where, for instance, you find that lecturers or teachers, they move towards a mode of just doing recordings in order to supply the content to the learner later on.
Yes.
So when you look at that mode of learning, there is really no real-time online engagement.
Yes, that's so true.
But a student is able to go and retrieve the content, and at their spare time, they can basically, interact if need be, ask questions via email to their respective teachers to try and, understand the content more.
Yeah.
And there's also another part to this, which is now looking at a system which has actually been designed to basically store content and to disseminate that content to targeted groups of students.
Okay.
So from time to time, you find that lecturers have to upload their content and make it available to their learners, and so that the learners can actually have a look and review that content.
Yes, yes.
Now, it's a very interesting space to be at, because it's introducing a certain culture of doing things more, especially when you look at education, when you look at the culture of learning as we have previously known it.
Yes.
Where now, if you've, for instance, been very comfortable to do your teaching behind the scenes, and now you have to record yourself. Now you have to be out there. You're now opening yourself up to educating more than one learner.
Yes.
So it's a very interesting space, a lot of anxiety around it, but it is happening.
Is this a new norm for educators?
I think yes, especially in South Africa, it very much is. I believe a lot of institutions have been having these technologies, but it has not been maximized previously. It's only now that we had to look at different ways of actually reaching out to the learners and making sure that we don't actually lose out on the time, because there are no contact sessions, or there were no contact sessions that we could actually do due to COVID.
Yes.
That now a lot of institutions are actually investing a lot of effort in trying to explore the capabilities that have been lying dormant in their institutions, so that at least learning and education can actually happen.
Yeah. Does this have levels? Like, is it only for tertiary? Is it only for universities, or does it start from the lowest level? I'm talking about now the smaller grades.
Yes. You know what? That's a very tricky situation, or a tricky question, purely because, there's different groups in societies, right? We've got public schools, we also have private schools.
Right.
And what I've also gotten to uncover or discover rather is that with a lot of students in private schools, that mode of learning is something that they're actually very familiar with.
Right.
You know,
right.
But when you look at the public school sector, you actually see that there are certain gaps here and there. But when you look at the tertiary institution levels, it is the technology that has been there. But like I said, you find that it was not utilized extensively because in any event, we are used to having those physical contact sessions. Yeah.
So COVID-19 actually helped us to be pushed towards that direction.
Yes, it pushed us a lot to that direction, and as a result you find that, you know, it was a lot of trying to understand how best to utilize the technology to do the things that previously you wouldn't worry about. For instance, you find that, you know, we've been comfortable with just doing manual assessments where you would have your students come to an institution to write a test and go back to res or go back home. Whereas now you have to rely on technology to be able to conduct such assessments. It's a good thing, but it has also opened our eyes to other realities in terms of some things that can just go wrong through those channels.
Sure. So it's a good thing for educators and learners to make themselves best friends with this kind of technology.
I think there's no turning back. You know, we just have to make it work. We just have to get to understand how to maximize the capabilities and move forward with it, because it is the future. Of
course. Is this an international thing that is happening?
I would say, looking at the impact that COVID has, I mean, it's across the globe. It's international. It's just that obviously in Africa we may find that we're not really, you know, paying much attention to the use of such technologies because we've just been very much comfortable with the way in which we've been, you know, delivering our content to our students, vice versa. But again, from an informal context, there's also a lot of drive from the student side of things where, you know, because of this technology that is out there, which is not necessarily pushed from a formal institution perspective. There's a lot of courses that are, you know, rendered by various institutions. Some are for free, some are actually, you pay a minimal fee or even an expensive amount to actually have access. So with that, it's posing another dynamic to the whole learning system. Because you find that there's a lot of knowledge that our students are actually getting from various sources. So if you actually now have to render a lecture or you know, teach students, they are so rich in their knowledge because they've actually, you know, upskilled themselves from different avenues.
Is there a similar upskillment, if I may put it that way, for the educators as well? Because I'm thinking about this. There are those educators who only know what they know until now. Now, you speak of educational technology, you're speaking a different language to them. Are there any skills development programs that are set for such educators?
Yes, I think I won't speak for all the institutions, but for most institutions that I know of, they are making, you know, strides in making sure that the educators receive the necessary skilling in terms of the latest technology that they have to use to deliver, you know, the content to the students. But I would say that on its own is not enough. You know, as an educator, you have to go an extra mile and try and do your own research and see what works for you and what doesn't work for you, so that you can enhance your own tools that will make it an effortless exercise to deliver content to your learners.
This is Tech Talk on Galaxy with myself, Mpumi Mpama, and I've got Dr. Thembi with us in studio, who is telling us more about educational technology. And we also have Dr. Nyarai Thunjera, who is on Skype. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mpumi. It's nice having you.
Thank you very much. Doc, I just want to go straight to this question. What are the 5 components of educational technology? I know there's 5 basic domains on the field, namely design, development, utilization, management, and evaluation. Can you tell us more about these?
Thank you, Mpumi. Yes, when you're looking at educational technology, I think Dr. Thembi has mentioned the issue to deal with education and technology, these are two different domains that are being combined so that they complement each other for the betterment of teaching and learning. So with education, we've got what we call theory of practice. Some theories that are specifically meant for teachers to teach effectively so that there will be learning taking place. So we do have those 5 components that we look at when you are designing an instructional technology or when you are going to design a learning or a learning class using technology. We do have the design, first of all, instructional system design. How are you going to use that technology for instruction? So it's very important that you've got some instructional strategies that you need to engage with. For example, if I look at the current scenario that we are in, as Dr. Thembi said, COVID got most educational institutions taking naps. No one thought these 4 walls would be broken.
That's right.
So with that, we find that these instructional strategies, teachers were used to stand in front of students.
That's true.
And engage with the students in physical form. But now there is this virtual form that industry adopted it. If you look at banking systems, if you look at communication systems, if you look at various industries, now we've got this robotics coming in. A lot of industry have invested in. So for us as educators, we need to have instructional technologies that entail what is it that we intend to produce at the end of giving an instruction. What is the learning outcome that we need to come up with? And we also need to understand the characteristics of our learners. So as you design, you are not just designing something that doesn't have some other factors that you need to look at. So basically the design is a well-thought plan. How am I going to use this technology? What is it that I'm going to teach? How am I going to teach? What is it that I really want to produce at the end of the lesson? So that is first level of the design, the concept, the components of educational technology. Then if I move on to the actual development, I know I'm at CPUT, where our students are limited in terms of access to digital resources. When we talk about connectivity, we talk about the actual devices, the mobile devices or the laptops that they need in order for them to be active participants in this digital learning space. So you find that within the development infrastructure of a technological instructional design, we do have some different technologies that you might need to look at. We do have the print technologies, where we can come up with printed hard copy or either soft copy. Can be a form of print technology. We do have audiovisual technologies and computer-based technologies, integrated technologies. We are looking at just the aspect of developmental development in terms of our educational technology components. And to move on to utilization, as you had it, utilization in itself, it involves a lot of aspects. We look at the media utilization. How are we going to engage with various media that our learners are exposed to, or that our learners, you have an intent so that your learners will be able to engage with that kind of media. So for example, in my current practice, I have realized that my students, they don't have access to high-end devices. So the challenge that I had now is to reach them. And I know some teachers are using WhatsApp to teach a class of 120 students. Where they are using the voice, or they use the voice notes and students' comments. So with that kind of media utilization, it might not be that effective.
I was going to say that, No, I was going to say that it might not be that effective if they use, Please go on. So you realize that with such environment where we are looking at this media utilization, we are in education was not ready for this kind of
teaching.
Yes,
we were all not ready.
Yes.
You find that actually my thesis, my PhD thesis was looking at that. And what I've realized from my study was educators, they don't understand the affordances that technology can give.
Right.
What they are doing currently is they are substitution our old technologies like writing on the board and they substitute it with a PowerPoint presentation. To them, they are utilizing technology. They are utilizing these media tools.
Yes.
So it's quite an interesting thing that we might just really need to look at as this new thing, new form of things is coming in. So within the utilization also, we also need to look at policies and regulations because they play a very important role in the way we engage with these technologies. I know technologies, if you come up with this, I think I remember my master's, I was talking about the affordance of a WhatsApp messenger for teaching and learning. That was my research. And I was saying, you know what, because our learners, they can be separated in space, but that creates some form of they won't be able to get answers instantly. Whilst I'm doing my homework, I must also want to ask someone, did I get it correct? Am I doing the correct thing? Is this the way that the lecturer said we should do? Then I need those answers instantly so that I will engage with whatever I'm doing. But looking at it with WhatsApp Messenger, a lot of people are using it for social. I mean, we communicate, we get in touch with our friends, we send audios. These days, it's now even more sophisticated than then it was in 2014.
That's right,
So you realize that there is potential, but with education now, it is a different environment. They've got theories, they've got ways of doing things. So for us just to take a WhatsApp and just put it there because it's a communication tool, let's engage with it, it becomes difficult. So the issue of utilization and policies and regulation within the educational technology is quite important.
Dr. Nyarai, just to interject on that, if I hear you correctly, you concur with Dr. Tembi in saying that this is a new norm that also the educators that are used to, standing in front of the board and writing manually, they now need to get used to this new type of teaching. Is that correct? Yes, you are right. Because what I'm saying here is it's a new something. It's new. It's just like you are going to the north, and suddenly you need to go to the east. That's right.
So it's quite a new process that, as educators, I know some developed countries, they've been looking at it, but this COVID now brought about a new way of looking at it. They were looking at technology as a form of a substitute or something that supplements or complements the current teachers' practices. But if you look at things right now, the new norm, it's a turnaround concept that is coming in.
Doctor, I just need to ask you this question before we go on a break. Why is technology used in schools, except helping to keep the students stay engaged? I know that Dr. Tembi touched on that, but can we have your view on that?
Yes, just to add on what Dr. Tembi mentioned earlier on, you realize that the technology is an open market. It's an open resource where people can use it in various areas. So specifically for teaching and learning, for schools to use it, besides that engagement of teacher and students, there is the aspect of skill development.
Yes.
With this COVID, a lot of people have managed to use this technology to upskill themselves.
Right. So
there are courses that are being offered out there that one can access for free.
Well, to my two special guests, Dr. Nyarai and Dr. Tembi, thank you very much for joining us in studio and on Tech Talk on Galaxy. To our viewers at home, please keep on sending those messages via Facebook and the social media? Because we'd like to answer the questions that you are left with, and we'll take them and give you the answers on our next episode. But keep engaging with us on social media. From us on studio at Tech Talk on Galaxy with myself, Mpumi Mbama, sponsored by Tamani Technologies and Systems, we'd like to say to you goodbye.